Hey everyone, SoundHound AI is one company that's benefiting significantly from the rising effectiveness of AI. So it's understandable that more investors are interested in SoundHound AI stock right now. That's why in this video, I'm going to highlight the internal makings, what's going on with SoundHound AI right now. So let's jump right into it. Let's take a look at this innovative audio company. I want to thank the Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/Parkev for the 10 best stocks to buy now. All right, so in its latest quarter, revenue grew to a record 13.30 million. That was up 52% from the previous quarter. So their revenue growth is really now just starting to take off. And that's significant given the rising effectiveness of AI. The products that we are creating saw exceptional demand from automotive assistant regenerative AI features to customer service solutions for every business. The company has a couple of pillars, right? Their pillar one category is where they power products such as autos, TVs, and Internet of Things devices. All of these devices are getting smarter, meaning they're becoming more interactive with consumers. And as they get better at understanding the communication, they could even become more interactive and more effective, right? So these are exciting categories to implement these technologies, and it's really only the beginning. If it proves to be effective in these categories, then there's several other areas where it can expand to. So they recently published the results of a study that over half of regular drivers would like ChatGPT style capabilities from their in-vehicle voice assistant. And I would say, of course they would. Um, if you ask me about a feature I would say yes, I would want it. Of course, it all depends on price. If I'm getting this feature, but I also have to pay an extra $1,000 or $2,000 for the car, would I still want it? Probably not. But if I'm just getting this while I'm getting the car anyway, and it's just included as being standard without increasing the price of the car, of course I would be happy with that, right? So the key with these innovative technologies is the cost, right? Of course people want this. Of course this would be an amazing step forward. But can you do it at an effective price point? Can you do it at a price that brings you more value to pay for? So that's the key here. That's what really SoundHound, that step, that milestone that they have to cross. And when they cross that, the revenue growth could be explosive once they cross that. Once it becomes a no-brainer, where it's like, of course we want this for the price that you're charging. It's a no-brainer. Of course we'll pay for it. If they can get it to that point, then it's all, revenue is going to explode higher. So their customer base, which includes over 20 car brands such as Hyundai and Stellantis. The brands that have chosen SoundHound solutions represent roughly 25% of all units produced in the world today. So they're gaining strong traction with these automakers. That's good news. That's great news. But I will caution investors to remember, these younger innovative growth companies, they like to sign deals with these big name companies for that promotional aspect so that they can report this to you, the investor, and say, look, we have a deal with Hyundai, we have a deal with Stellantis, right? And so they won't focus so much on the economics of the deal because they want that promotional aspect of the deal. So they'll give Hyundai and Stellantis a sweetheart deal so that they can have that promotional capability of that deal, right? I've seen this through dozens and dozens of other companies that like to do this when they just get started, when they're just trying to get off the ground and make a name for themselves and really make that leap forward in terms of revenue and investor recognition. They'll make these kinds of deals. So I'd be more interested in hearing about the details of these deals that they sign rather than just the name of the deal that they're signing. Don't get fooled into thinking this name and this company, the match, it's going to be a no-brainer, great news, right? And I'll give you one example. The deal with, if you follow Rivian, Rivian is a new EV car maker coming out. It signed a deal with Amazon that it was going to provide Amazon with 100,000 electric delivery vans. And that was what propelled the company forward, that shot the stock price higher, because it announced that it had a deal with Amazon, and Amazon was a big backer. And just the name brand recognition of Amazon lifted Rivian's stock higher. But as the company went forward and you started to realize how much money they're losing on the bottom line from these deals, then it became less exciting and the stock price is down significantly from those early highs. I'm not saying that's what's happening with SoundHound. I'm just cautioning investors to not get excited over these announcements of a name brand making a deal with SoundHound AI. What's more important are the economics of the relationship, and we'll see that through SoundHound's improving profitability, which they are making significant strides in that regard. They've made significant steps forward given their restructuring they implemented earlier in 2023. So they are making excellent progress on that front. So they're seeing more queries within their devices that they power, including TVs and apps. And at this frequency of usage, the performance of our machine learning and AI models get more and more advanced as they learn from this massive amount of data that keeps growing. And they expect this will create faster adoption, new use cases, and ultimately higher unit prices per device. That's great. I mean, if you're in a business where the more people use your product, the better your product gets, that's an excellent business to be in. That's a foundational, positive, virtuous cycle that can feed on itself and exponentially grow. That's great news. That's why it's important for SoundHound to continue getting these access to devices, getting these data inputs so that they can improve on the model, make it more intuitive, and therefore make it more desirable. And then it'll get even more data, which will then make it even more intuitive, making it even more desirable, and on and on. It could just feed on itself and grow. So this is great news for SoundHound stock investors. All right, so moving on, they're also working with some of the largest appliance manufacturers in the world, and they've signed, extended, or gone into production with multiple plants in industries such as telcos, robotics, printers, vending machines, and kiosks. While printers are a smaller category, I'm personally excited about that one. Printers are notoriously bad in terms of functionality and interface. It would be great if they can be voice recognition enabled, and therefore you could tell the printer what you want it to do and have it listen and do what you want it to do. As far as the bigger opportunity is likely in robotics, telcos, and kiosks. Kiosks being a huge one right now because rising wages and labor shortages are making these kiosks even more valuable. A lot of the restaurants that you go to, the McDonald's near the university that I teach at, doesn't have cashiers anymore. You got to order at the kiosk, and that's saving the franchisee a good deal of money on wages and making it more reliable because kiosks don't call out sick. They show up for work. You don't have to pay it overtime. They can work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They don't take vacations. And so there's a lot of benefits to that. And, in California, they keep raising the minimum wage. You're forced to pay employees. So these are becoming more and more valuable as wages are increasing. So that's an exciting category for SoundHound AI. So their second pillar category, they aspire to service millions of businesses around the world with their AI customer service solutions. And I don't need to tell you about how bad customer service is, right? There's relatively few companies that have good customer service. I'm thinking Amazon. What else, right? I can't think of any other companies that I interact with. Apple has great customer service. Other than Amazon and Apple, I can't think of any other companies that have good quality customer service where you get your question answered without being annoyed, right? Nowadays, you got to go through you got to press 8 buttons and go through 6 different automated questions before you eventually maybe get to a representative that it takes 2 minutes, 5 minutes to connect to, and they ask you the same questions that you were just asked to key in the phone survey. It's a hassle, it's annoying, and it's turning off a lot of customers. And if SoundHound can step in there and offer better customer service, that could go a long way for companies to improve their customer service while also reducing costs at the same time. So they've agreed to a trial with one of the largest global quick sell restaurants in the world for the use of their dynamic interaction drive-through solution. There's another area where SoundHound AI is ripe to innovate, right? The drive-through. That's an area that's not working very well. You sometimes have to order several times, repeat your order, repeat yourself, and very often they get your order wrong anyway. So if SoundHound AI proves to be more effective and more cost effective, most importantly, then that's a major market opportunity it can capitalize on. So exciting times ahead for SoundHound AI. And this conference call here and this elaboration from the CEO really highlights a lot about the opportunity ahead for SoundHound AI. Before I let you go, let me tell you about the greatest deal on YouTube. With just a click of a button, you can get free financial analysis from a professor with decades of investing experience. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon.